Senem, Compport. Thank you for joining us today. And I'm excited to be here with my colleague Pratik, who is the growth lead at Commport. Today, we are going to talk about a module that has been creating a lot of buzz, the Total Rewards Statement. But before diving into the agenda, let me introduce Commport. Pratik, perfect. We are on the right slide. Commport is a next generation solution designed to streamline every aspect of compensation management. And our mission is to transform the way compensation is managed, making it more intelligent, efficient, and engaging. By the way, can you hear the noise from my side?
No, Sanam, I can hear you well.
Perfect. Okay. And we are currently serving this purpose for more than 1 million users across the world. And let's clarify the agenda for today. Obviously, it is the total reward statements. We will discuss its significance, why it matters in today's compensation world, and how it can transform your approach to employee engagement. But instead of a usual typical product demo, we want to make this interactive and show you just how powerful and practical the total reward statement can be. There are some house rules. First of all, this webinar will be recorded, and then it will be shared with you. Feel free to type your questions. We will be answering them towards the end. And let's make this one an interactive session. And for this reason, we will have some poll questions and a survey at the end. Shall we start? Okay. So let's start with the big picture. Why are total reward statements so crucial for companies today? What impact does this have on employee engagement? I think that's the key question. Total reward statements have become crucial for companies today due to several shifts in the talent landscape. First of all, we are seeing an increased demand for transparency from employees. As people want more insight into their total compensation beyond just their base salaries, such as bonuses, benefits, and long-term incentives, having a clear, accessible way to present this information is key. Secondly, the rise of remote and hybrid work models has led to more dispersed teams. With this shift, it is more important than ever for companies to establish trust and foster a sense of belonging across geographies. Total reward statements help bridge that gap. When employees see the full picture of their compensation package, it helps them feel valued and more connected to the company's goals. And as a result, it leads to higher satisfaction, greater retention, and a more motivated workforce. Transparency also plays a critical role in recruitment, as potential candidates are looking for organizations that are upfront about their total rewards packages. So I think this highlights the importance of the total rewards statements. Pratik, anything you want to add?
Sanam, I think you summarized the use cases of total reward statement really well. One of the exercises I always do with folks is just ask them, hey, if you pick up random 10 employees in your scope or in your teams, how many would really know about what their actual rewards and benefits are? So let's do a quick experiment with the team. Maybe Shreyashi, if you can just launch a quick poll and all the participants can answer out of 10, how many employees on average would really know their compensation and benefits. That'll give us a good idea of where we are to begin with in our discussion. I hope the poll's up for everybody.
I like this poll, Pratik, and whenever I interact with any company, any organization, I ask the same question. And the results are not so high, I must tell you. Let's see how it will be in this session. I'm curious.
We have the results out and they're pretty much on expected lines. So a majority says 1 to 3, which is very less employees. 3 to 5 is there as well. 5 to 7 is the second highest, and then, as you would imagine, 7 to 10 is the lowest. Uh, that's what we hear all the time, from our uh, clients as well. That hey, is there a way in which we can communicate rewards better? And today's session is all about that. Sam, you want to add something?
Yeah, I think there's a global benchmark, and as per that benchmark, the percentage is around 60. So I think we have a quite similar result with this poll. Okay, then let's talk about some real-world examples, Pratik. I know you're working with several companies about total reward statement. Can you give us some examples how those companies are implementing total reward statements and what kind of impact value they are generating?
Absolutely, Sanem. I think when we talk about total reward statements to our clients, the first metric that we try to impact is retention. And not just with HR teams, but with HR leadership and finance teams. That's one metric we really try to do better by showing 5, 10% increase or decrease rather in how retention scores are impacted because of introducing a total reward statement. Along with that, employee motivation is another big factor. Employees getting to know their benefits, their compensation in one space, getting to learn more about their rewards is something that really leads to higher motivation and productivity. In fact, I'm working with a client right now as well, raising canes, for whom we were able to actually have all the benefits, all the compensation, even their bonus plans, which are pretty detailed for their crew members, all at one place, and that's really shot up their employee productivity and morale. So that's one example, but we have multiple such success stories where we've taken clients from their employees just knowing about their compensation in the form of pay slips to actually having a total working reward statement that helps to understand exactly what's happening with their compensation and rewards. So
Perfect. Great points, Pratik. Thanks so much for sharing, especially the Raising Cane's example. And it's good to hear that there is a felt increase in the employee morale and productivity. So I have another question for the audience. So we said that we should make this interactive, and hence I'm asking questions. Suresh, if you can bring the next question, I want to understand our audience today, from our audience today, if they are using any tool, any technology, software to reflect the total value of total rewards. It's a basic question, yes or no. And I will have a next question, a follow-up question. If no, is your organization considering to invest in a total rewards platform? So you can see the next question right now. And we appreciate your responses. And very soon we will see the outcomes. Okay. Shall we see the outcomes, Suresh? Most of our audience today, they don't have a tool in place. So this is the first one, and let's see the second one quickly, please. Those who don't have, are they considering to invest? Let's see. I think yes, within the next year, 33%. Another 33% for them, not a current area of focus. Great, thank you so much for sharing this. Thanks, it's good to understand what you're thinking and what you are planning. Now let's see Compport Total Rewards Statement module in action. Pratik, would you mind giving us a quick demo of the Total Reward Statement? And maybe you can explain some key capabilities.
absolutely, Sanem. Just let me know once you guys can see my screen, and then we can get rolling with this.
Yes, perfect.
Wonderful. So what you have in front of you is a sample total reward statement. And before we go into the specifics, the idea behind this page is to go beyond compensation when it comes to communicating rewards. The idea is that, hey, while you're earning XYZ dollars, but it's not just that, it's your growth, your benefits, your equity put together in a single solid statement, which we call the total reward statement. Let's look at the different components of this page. On the left-hand side is my compensation breakup. So my base salary, my target bonus, target equity is something that's being shown in the pie chart over here. Below that are my internal and external compositioning. So you can think of compa ratios, you can think of quartiles over here. Some organizations are showing ranges over here as well in the spirit of pay transparency, where showing ranges to your employees is becoming mandatory in multiple states here in the US. Along with that, on the right-hand side is my growth in terms of compensation as an employee over the last few years. And potentially, how is it projected to grow over the next 2, 3, 4 years is something that organizations are also looking to use Commport to communicate. Below are all my benefits. So dollar value of that benefit, description of that benefit, along with the option of downloading a policy document is something that's available in each of these blocks that you see on the bottom of your screen. As I mentioned, the idea is to communicate to total up the benefits as a number and then add it up to the cash compensation to show the total value that the person is getting while working with a particular organization.
And Pratik, this is a live demonstration. Each time when an employee logs in to the system, they will see the current, updated, and live version of Total Reward Statement. Is that right? I think that's the beauty about having a tool.
Absolutely, Sanem. I think the biggest difference between a PDF-led letters and a live total reward statement is that this statement is active 24/7. So whatever are the latest benefits that they're getting, whatever is the latest competition that they have, employees are able to see all of that by just clicking on a link that is available on their HRIS system.
And obviously, each individual has own unique Total Reward Statement. Yeah. Pratik, when employees view their Total Reward Statements, they may have some questions. Some of them might be challenging, but some of them might be basic. I know you have a chatbot as well on the platform. Can chatbot handle some of those queries? And if yes, can you explain how?
Yeah, sure, Sanim. So typically for our clients, this chatbot is something that's adding a lot of values because the number of queries that employees have in terms of compensation have drastically gone down by introducing this. So this chatbot is typically trained on the questions that our clients share with us. But otherwise, it's also linked with ChatGPT. So if it does not find a question over here in the repository, it would go to ChatGPT and get the answer from there. Let's look at an example. For example, I look at this total reward statement, and I have a question that how exactly was my future pay or increment decided? What factors were taken into account in this process? And that's the question I shoot to the system. It'll actually give me an answer, and it'll tell me exactly what were the parameters that were taken into account in this calculation. So this response is based on what was fed in to the system and gives me an idea of how exactly the calculations have been made for me.
And it's a very fundamental question, and it's great to have technology to respond to that question so that we can save some time from the HR rewards professionals and the line managers. That's great. Pratik, as we know, for most of the organizations, Total Reward Statement is not just about salary, benefits, bonus, LTIs. Well-being is part of it. Sometimes the career opportunities, the development opportunities are part of it. Sometimes the elements in the culture can be part of it. So how can we reflect those aspects on the TRS view, Total Rewards view?
Great question, Salim. And this view that you see is just a starting point. When we work with our clients, we help them build a reward story or a rewards philosophy that they communicate. So think about things like career paths, philosophies. All of that can be actually communicated by adding pages to this statement and communicating it to the employees accordingly. So we work with clients where the entire journey, their learning and development opportunities, their career paths have been tagged along with this view to give them a full picture of their total rewards.
Perfect. And I can see some questions on the Q&A box. The very first one is, can the value of pension benefits be added to the pie chart? Definitely, yes, it can be added. It is up to you. It is configurable and flexible. The second question is about the difference between the salary growth report and year-on-year total comp tab. And is that customizable? Pratik, would you like to explain?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So when I look at the year-on-year total compensation report, I see the actuals, the actual LTI, the actual bonus that the person has received year on year. So think of it like a more detailed added report, which some of our clients love because they love showing the actuals and not just, targets of these bonus and equities. So is it customizable? Yes, you can replace it by some other report if that's applicable for you guys. But for most of our clients today, salary growth and year-on-year total direct compensation are the two metrics that we typically show.
And Pratik, I want to talk a little bit about the cosmetics. So each company have own branding, own colors. So the pictures that you see here on the screen, or some of the colors that are there on the graph, are also customizable. So we can help you to reflect your branding guidelines as much as we can. Yeah. Perfect. So I think we had an understanding about the employee experience, Pratik. Let's move to any line manager. So what kind of experience they will have, and how can a total reward statement module help line managers?
Absolutely. So Sanem, line managers would typically have a list of all their employees, and they can choose whose total rewards statement do they want to look at any point in time. So this is an example where Johnny Depp is the manager, and he's seeing Alice, who's one of his employees, his total reward statement. He could have chosen anybody else as well in this list, and actually gotten the total reward statement of that specific individual. So if your managers need to have access to people's compensation, then this view is something that's really helpful to them because it lets them just choose the right person and look at how have they grown in their role or what's been their benefits like over the last few years. So that's something that is really powerful. One step further to this is, can I compare people against each other? And that's something we've recently built on as well. Letting managers choose a few employees and then compare their target pay, their bonuses, their base pay, even benefits in a tabular format like this against each other so that they get a better view of where each of the employee lie against other team members.
Perfect. I think it's very handful for the managers. So in one platform, they can see everything on a live basis. And I think comparison is a very nice and helpful feature. I see a question again on the Q&A box. Where does the data come from? I think this is the biggest question. The data comes from wherever you want. Okay, it can be your HRIS system, it can be your payroll system, it can be multiple systems, but obviously it's not upload, because if it is upload, then there is, it's not fully streamlined. Our mission is to fully streamline the processes. So we prefer integration, and we can do integration with multiple systems. And that's how we show the real-time data.
Yeah, just elaborating a bit more on that. So some of the recent systems we've been working in the US specifically have been Workday, UKG, SuccessFactors. ADP has a lot of data around comp. That's something we typically integrate with. So these are some of the systems we're obviously open to integrating with any system which has your compensation and benefits data to run this.
Perfect.
So
Pratik, I cannot be objective, so keep that in mind. This all sounds so seamless to me. So for managers, for employees, things look really fine. But what about the rewards admin, the HR admin experience? Is it difficult for them to set all those things, to handle all those things? What kind of experience we offer for our dear HR and rewards colleagues?
Yeah. So Commport for HR and compensation team, it's all about making their lives easier and saving their time, which focuses on other strategic outcomes. So let's look at how the admin would set up this total reward statement. It's actually pretty straightforward. You have a tab called total reward statement. You click on that, create a total reward statement, and creation only has two steps. Step one, you identify the group which is eligible for total rewards, because sometimes not everybody should get it. Some people should get it first, and then you might want to do it stage-wise. And then for that specific group, you just tell the platform what are the kind of benefits applicable for them. So the list of benefits is right in front of you. You already have pre-existing benefits coming in as a list. You can add more as well if you want to, but you can choose what are the benefits that are applicable for this group. And within each benefit, you have the option of putting in an image, a policy document, even a description that can come in over here that employees will see on their front end. And as for the dollar value, it could be flat amounts like this, or we can integrate this and get this information from somewhere else. So that's how typically we think about this setup. It's pretty intuitive. You can just pull the right option and then have it being shown to those employees.
We can embed the FAQs, the policy documents, as you mentioned. And the idea here is employees, they can check this platform and get the answers easily from the system.
That's right. And Sanan, there's one more aspect to total rewards that we're thinking about right now, and that is to actually also think about bringing in equity and bonus plans in the same view for employees. So this was a standard total reward statement, but can I bring in an LTI tab like this? And when they click on this tab, they see more details about their equity. What's the vesting schedule like? What are the numbers looking like? How much do they aim to gain if their stock prices increases by a certain value? All of that is something that we have done for our clients as well. And the same thing goes for bonus and incentive as well, where can I bring in bonus details and incentive details and plug it to the same page of the total rewards. So having everything in one place is what we kind of think about in this. And that's something that's been a game changer for our clients.
I think so. And Pratik, I work as an HR professional for almost 22 years. And the LTI and STI related questions, sometimes they can be a nightmare. So it's good to have all those details here. And as I know, we give the simulation, option to the employees, so they can simulate their future wealth from LTIs, or they can simulate their potential incentives, commissions using our STI tab on the screen. Pratik, I have one key question. Is it difficult, challenging to implement total reward statement module?
Serem, no. If we have the right data in place, it typically is a 3 to 4 week process. And in those 3 to 4 weeks, we usually start by doing a sandbox first, which is basically a user acceptance testing or a UAT instance, followed by a production setup. So we test first, we then roll out to the real system, and all of that typically takes 3 to 4 weeks, including the time required for integrating with different systems. So it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple, and in 4 weeks, you can have something like this up and running for any organization.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Pratik. Anything you want to show us on the screen, Pratik? And let's keep an eye on the Q&A box. Yeah, I see one question. Maybe you can also check the last question, Pratik, the very last one, and let's clarify that for Erin. I'm trying to read it right now. I have some eyesight problems, so reading slowly. Pratik, you're younger than me.
No, I'll pick up the last one. What is the problem with a solution which is like Workday versus us? Like the question is basically, why would you use Commport when you already have Workday and there are similar things available in Workday as well? And so I'll take a first jump and you can obviously add on to that. I think the reason why clients work with us, especially on the total reward statement, is because the kind of bonus plans that they have, the kind of equity plans that they have a hard time managing them on Workday. They're more configurable than what Workday can solve for. And that's where having a solution like ours is something that becomes really important for them. Likewise, there are certain role access reasons as well, where you might not want to give access of certain Workday screens, because of which clients tend to work with us specifically.
And we have many Workday clients using our Total Rewards module. So I can only reflect the feedbacks that I heard from them. And as per their experience, having everything in one place and showing it holistically to the employees is a challenging task. Sometimes data problems, configuration problems, flexibility problems, those are there in the experience. That's why they go out and look for additional or new tools. So I think that's one typical use case that I can share. And configurability and flexibility. Demand for more configuration and flexibility is one key reason. Cool.
Yeah, there are some other questions. We can take it offline, send them, and I can respond to Aaron and others.
Yes, I think so. That will be helpful. That will be helpful, Pratik. And I'm checking the time. We promised to keep this session half an hour, and it has been half an hour already. So I'd like to thank you, Pratik, for the insightful demo. To wrap up, total reward statements aren't just about tracking compensation. They're about fostering trust, engagement, and a culture of transparency. We hope today's session has sparked some ideas for how you can use a total reward statement tool in your organization. If you'd like to dive deeper or see more detailed use cases, we'd be happy to have a one-on-one conversation. Before we close, I'd like to remind you to fill out the 1-minute feedback survey, which will be shared after this session. My colleagues will share it with you. Pratik, any closing remarks from your side?
Yeah, I just have one quick thought, and that's that when we work with clients, what they tell us is that employees were actually ready to take a pay cut once they understood the what and the why behind pay. So that's an interesting thought. Once you're able to communicate better, the same dollars come across as much higher than otherwise. So that's a great thought, and I'm sure organizations should start looking at what this can actually help them achieve in terms of communication of rewards. So that's pretty much what I want to do.
Perfect. And thank you all for joining us today. As we all know, time is the most valuable thing we have. And today your time has become our rewards. We truly appreciate it. And I hope it was worth every minute. Please keep following us on LinkedIn and let's stay in touch. Have a lovely day. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.